It's time for Part of the Dead. Join us!
Yep.
Here we go. Hello and welcome to Pot of the Dead, the internet horror film club that nobody asked for. I am your host, Nicholas, and as always, I am joined by the final girl, Natasha.
Hello. Like Nick said, we are a film club, horror movie film club. We will review the movies throughout this episode, so if you don't want any spoilers, please cut to the end. About the last 5 minutes, we'll give homework for next week's movie. If you want all of the month's movies, head over to our Patreon, where you will get the week's menu or the month's menu of all the movies that we will be watching ahead of time. You'll also get video of our lovely faces doing this podcast, as well as being able to vote for a movie each month that we will review. Head over to our socials. Also, all of that is listed in our description below. This week, we are talking about Thanksgiving in honor of the holiday season.
Using honor loosely.
Thanksgiving is a new movie from 2023, directed by Eli Roth. It's actually based off of a fictitious trailer from Grindhouse, which I thought was really cool, from 2007. It stars the lovely Patrick Dempsey, Addison Rae, Jalen Thomas Brooks, among many others, and it follows a small Massachusetts town that is terrorized by a killer in a John Carver mask after the Thanksgiving holiday.
Yeah, so this movie came out last year, and I saw it in theaters with Noelle. What's your history with this film? Are you familiar with it at all?
I thought it was a completely different movie. I forgot that this movie came out last year and thought it was Thanksgiving that we were watching, so I was happily surprised that it was not.
Did you end up watching Thanksgiving? Because we did talk about this. Did you end up? No, you haven't watched it?
Not yet, no.
Oh, you got all month to watch it.
Yeah, exactly. I still have weeks.
It's so funny.
Maybe that's what I'll do when I don't have the kids on Thanksgiving. That's what we'll do. We'll just watch Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you just fucking rip a fat bowl and just watch Thanksgiving. The way
Happy
God
holidays.
intended. The way the founding fathers intended.
Right. It's what the Pilgrims would have wanted.
So yeah, this came out in 2023 last year. What do you think its budget was?
Big. It has like Scream remnants. So I think it was around like, I don't know, 10 million or so.
You're roughly there. It's $15 million budget.
Dang.
And it didn't, like, last year was a pretty big year for horror. Like if you look at what had come out, you know, Five Nights at Freddy's came out, The Nun 2, Insidious, The Red Door, Megan, Scream 6, Evil Dead Rise, The Exorcist Believer, Saw 10, Talk to Me, Cocaine Bear. So like there's all sorts of stuff. But like this movie, it came out like at a Thanksgiving release, right? Roughly. And it came out alongside Next Goal Wins, Trolls Band Together, The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. And so like that's what was going on in the marketplace. But at the same time, it's like this was the only horror film to come out at that time. So what do you think its box office was off of that?
For being a holiday release, I think it was probably around, let's say, grossing. We're going to go with like 93 million.
Oh, man, you so overshot it. It made $46.6 million, but off of $15 million, that's good. That's like triple investment, you know. It did actually, after its release, and it was like making money. It ended up getting re-released the last weekend in January of this year. So like, I always like it when that happens. Like, there's something that just like it did really well, and they're like, "Fuck it, let's just pop it out again and see what we can get." So, yeah.
Do we have any numbers on that re-release?
No, that's just all included into the $46 million. Yeah. So
Gotcha.
When it got re-released, it was only re-released into 511 theaters, opposed to its opening was 3,200 theaters. So like it basically got re-released into like some smaller markets that didn't get it initially, is what it seems like. But yeah, so if you've heard the name Eli Roth, he's kind of notorious for horror films for the most part. He has done some films that aren't horror, but he's most widely known as the man that abused us as younger adults by releasing Hostel in 2006. He also, prior to that, did like Cabin Fever in 2002. More recently, The Green Inferno in 2013. And sadly, he released Borderlands this year. So the big thing is Borderlands and this were kind of shot around the same time. And as much as his name is attached to Borderlands, he basically pushed off a lot of the directorial stuff for reshoots and all that on somebody else, because this is what he wanted to do. He wanted to do Thanksgiving. He got Borderlands. It was like, fuck it. Okay, yeah, sure. Why not? I can try and do something. I've seen both of those films, and Thanksgiving is a far superior film.
Which is shocking, being Borderlands, being IP, and having, I would imagine, a very large budget.
It's super large budget. It is so bad, though. Oh my God. And like, I heard that before I went and saw it, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna listen to, I don't listen to fucking, outside influence when it comes to something that's like, I really like the video games, I wasn't crazy about the cast, but I was like, it's Eli Roth, so this is probably gonna go like pretty fucking hard or like crazy or something. And it is like one of the most soulless like IP films I have ever seen. So that's enough about Borderlands. So this movie is greenlit for a sequel. So not to give anything away about the ending, because the ending is actually ambiguous. You don't 100% know what's going on. Well, you don't want to give anything away, but like,
it's up for debate.
Correct. Exactly. Well, see, that's why it's ambiguous.
Oh. The ambiguity is up for debate.
Well, no, like it's up for debate if it is or isn't. It's like, well, no, that means it's like that there isn't definition. There isn't a solid like this is this. It's like, no, people have different takes. So
okay.
But yeah, it's expected possibly for next year. So maybe we'll get another Thanksgiving around Thanksgiving, which would be dope, because I had a lot of fun watching this in theaters. And this year, watching it, this was just the second time I watched it with Wesley, because I remembered, like, I was like, yeah, it's gross, but like, I don't think it does anything that he's seen like the Evil Dead remake and shit like that. Like the kid's seen some shit that like some kids should not. Yeah, like, so I'm just like, oh, and I explained it to him like this, and it's funny that you brought this up. I was like, it's like a really gross version of Scream. Mm-hmm. Like it's like if Eli Roth directed Scream. It's Scream. It's My Bloody Valentine. You can tell that this guy loves like the old slashers, because it was just like, how can I make interesting, neat little kills?
There's like a snippet of nostalgic holiday movie wrapped into it, which I really appreciate. There's a Hallmark movie quality to it.
This is my kind of Hallmark movie. Now, you previously stated that this was made off of a trailer from Grindhouse. So are you familiar with the Grindhouse franchise?
Vaguely. Not as much as you are, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, when it came out, Grindhouse, it's 2 movies, but like it actually had like an interesting way of certain theaters when it first came out got it as a double feature. It was 2 movies back to back, one by Rodriguez and one by Tarantino. Tarantino did Death Proof, which is like, it stars Kurt Russell as like a stunt car driver with a car that he can't be killed in. He's just wreaking havoc. Right. And it's just like schlocky kind of stuff. And then Robert Rodriguez released Planet Terror, which is just like this sci-fi kind of zombie weird fucking crazy film. So in the double feature, there were fake trailers like in between the movies, before the movies, all this stuff. And that's where Thanksgiving comes from. That's where Hobo with a Shotgun comes from. And that's where Machete comes from. There's a couple others. I believe it's called like Werewolf Women of the SS, and there's another one called Don't. Like, those are the only two that haven't been made yet. But I'll go on record here saying I've seen both the Grindhouse films. They're good. They're fun. They're just ridiculous, fun, like crazy horror action kind of stuff. Seen this one. Seen Hobo with a Shotgun. That might be my favorite one because it is so like bad taste B 80s horror, and it's literally just about a hobo that comes into this like dystopian kind of town or whatever, and he's like, I'm gonna make my life right, and I'm gonna buy this lawnmower. I'm gonna start mowing lawns, and I'll save up money, and I can, you know, right my life. But while he's buying that, someone's robbing the pawn shop, so instead he buys the shotgun, and then he goes on a fucking tear through the town. It's great. And it's got I think it's Rutger Hauer is who plays in it, but and then what's the other one? Machete. That's got what's his name? I can't remember his name. I'm going to get fucking all sorts of shit for that. But it's basically just like an over the top like action, like violent action film. You looking it up right now? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Danny Trejo. Got it. Boom.
Yep, and are you talking about Rutger from like the car show?
From a car show? What are you talking about?
No, probably not. You can cut all of this.
No,
when I hear Rutger, I think of like Grand Tour? There's like the Americanized version of
Rutger Hauer. The
I don't know who this is.
He's from a movie called like Blind Fury, where he's a blind ninja. It's like in the 80s. He's in other stuff too, but that's what I always think of.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, I don't know that guy, but not the same guy that I'm thinking of.
What other films has Rutger Hauer been in?
He has been in Blade Runner.
There you go. That's the one. I remember Hobo with a Shotgun and Blind Fury. I fucking forget that he was in Blade Runner. It really shows my taste of films.
Right, exactly.
Oh, he's in one of Ridley Scott's most seminal films. You mean Hobo with a Shotgun? You mean Blind Fury, where he feels the doorknob of a door? He's blind, like, so he's feeling around. He finds the door handle and it's locked, so he just uses his katana to cut the door handle off.
Sounds like cinema magic.
Only real ones know Blind Fury. But so yeah, when it comes to slashers, there, in my opinion, like over the last handful of years, there have not been really good slashers. Like, you got the 80s slashers, obviously, you know, the 90s, you get Scream and all that stuff, and then like there's a lot of like Scream knockoffs, you know. I Know What You Did Last Summer, Urban Legends, Who Stole Whatever, you know, blah blah blah. And then just a bunch of remakes. But like, as far as I can remember, and I'm not a slasher. I mean, there was like the Hatchet films; those were original in the 2000s. But like, when it comes to like big box office-y slashers, I can't think of anything else other than this. The only close comparison, and I don't consider it a slasher, but some people could, are the Terrifier films.
No.
But like the whodunit aspect and everything, like the Scooby-Doo-ness of it, you know. Who was it? You know, like
been referenced in the movie.
Yeah, and I love that about this movie. The fact that like Eli Roth, even when the Carver, John Carver, the slasher in this film, when he's running around and stuff, it's not the same person running around. It's like all sorts of different people dressed up like him. So like you can't you can't pick up on like, oh, is it this person? Is it that person? You know? And also going back to, you know, we've had the conversation about Scream having the best cold open. This is one of my favorite openings for a movie.
Yes. 100% agree. I watched it twice. I watched it the first time through because thankfully you told me, hey, this is going to be over the top, have fun with it.
Yes.
So thankfully I knew that going in, because had I not known that, it would have completely ruined that amazing opening. But I watched it through. Drew came in about halfway through the movie, so I had to re-show him. I was like, this is the best part. You have to watch this. So I would watch the movie again solely for that opening.
Yeah, I think that Eli Roth perfectly encapsulated Black Friday Like
Spirit of Thanksgiving.
Like, yeah, the spirit of Thanksgiving. Consumerism. Who would have thunk it, you know?
Right. America.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, but
Let's push past that.
Yeah, just soldier through. But yeah, so I've got a lot to say about that. I will say this. All right, before we get into spoiler territory, this is by far the greatest episode of Grey's Anatomy I have ever seen. I don't remember Dr. McDreamy or whatever he's called being a sheriff, but I'm down with that.
With that sweet New England accent.
And that's one thing. I think that they actually did, like, okay, so I've been to like Massachusetts all the way up into Maine and stuff like that, and by no means am I saying like they sound exactly like that, but I didn't notice it being so glaringly bad. Like, I think that they all did a really decent job of like putting on that New England accent, which can be really fucking hard. Like, if
that's not what you're born into, I can imagine it being very tough to emulate.
Otherwise you're gonna come off sounding like people trying to do like the Matt Damon impression. You know, it's like, put the car in the harbor, like all that shit. Like, it does. I put my khakis in my khakis, you know, like, it's none of that.
Yeah.
It doesn't come off like that so much, but you know, you know what? Now I kind of want that. I kind of want that Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, early like Boston accent just all over this film. I think I'd give it an extra point, you know.
All over the film.
Yes. But that Black Friday store sequence was shot over the course of just 4 nights. So that's pretty impressive considering everything they do in this intro, because it is literally just chaos incarnate. And a lot of fuck you. Very, very Massachusetts. And if you're from Massachusetts, don't act like it's not like that, okay? Ohio, where we're from, is very much like that too.
Yeah,
it's just
we love you for it.
Yeah. So let's see here. Do you want to give our first impressions reviews before we go into spoiler territory?
Yes, sir.
All right. What do you think I'm giving this movie?
I think you're giving it a solid 7.5.
Right about. I'm feeling a hard 7.
Hard 7.
It could be a 7.5 after we talk about it and stuff, but like, I'm not crazy on slashers. I really like them for like my childhood, like Jason, all that stuff. But like, I appreciate the film. I think that this will turn on a lot more like younger generations into like slashers. But yeah, I think you're going to give it a 7 as well.
I'm giving it a 6.5.
Okay, so we're within the 0.5 territory, so that's understandable. All right, so from this point forward, you know, we're gonna go into spoiler territory, just openly discuss the film. If you haven't seen Thanksgiving, I believe it's on Netflix. This is a movie that you gather around all the youngins and everything. Get grandma out of the home, wheel her in front of the fucking TV, and turn on Thanksgiving. So, without further ado, we're going to carve this movie up.
If you'd like to be part of our horror film club, make sure to follow us at Instagram, Threads, and Facebook at Pod of the Dead. All of our episodes can be found at podofthedeadorelse.com or wherever you stream music and podcasts. If you have movie recommendations or questions for us, email us at podofthedead666@gmail.com. Don't forget to leave us a 5-star review. Or else.
So, with that being said, Tasha, can you give me that 10 out of 10 review that we found online?
2023 finally gets a decent horror flick. First, let me say that if gore isn't your thing, then skip this one. Fans who saw the trailer from 2007 remember the gritty throwback to the 80s slasher movie craze. Those movies were named after holidays or days of the week.
You had Halloween, you had My Bloody Valentine, you had Black Christmas.
Days of the week?
Friday the 13th.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a stretch.
Day of the week's more like it, you fucking cuck.
My favorite was the 1980 My Bloody Valentine, which was a mean, nasty, violent flick. That's what you expect walking in after seeing the trailer. This one reminds me of that original slasher flick from the golden age of horror. The makeup effects are pretty gruesome, and the movie is unapologetically mean and nasty with some clever kills. The backstory has been revealed throughout the previews, but who the killer is in the third act really got me by surprise. 1 minute it's playing like a black comedy, then the next some dumb idiot is getting chopped up.
Hell yeah.
While some remember those slasher movies from back in the day as bad, fans like me remember the mystery of who the killer is with the big reveal. We went for those Tom Savini makeup effects, and here you can see these kills. Here, I think they just did that wrong. Here you can see that these kills were heavily inspired by the makeup genius.
Yes.
The preview audience I sat with had a great time, and the fans of horror will too. Just know that you're getting into an Eli Roth homage to an 80s slasher movie.
100%. Like, when you get Eli Roth, you know that you're going to get not just blood, but you're going to get, like, guts. Like, legit guts. You're also going to get a couple of his directorial trademarks. So he's got two trademarks, and one is horrific display of killed characters' remains on display.
Okay.
So you get that in most of his films. But also, I found this one to be very cool. A cat present for a decapitation.
Oh.
But,
I read that the cat was a great actor, according to Eli, and did all of his movements on cue.
Nice. Fuck yeah. The whole point of that like scene where the carver feeds the cat is specifically because Eli Roth was like, I want to explain what happens to the cat after the person dies. Like in movies that, you know, the dog or the cat's like, oh, but what happens? It's like, oh, this is what happens. The killer likes the kitty.
I thought that was a really nice touch because I had that thought of, oh, what happens? That.
I've only seen Wesley erupt in excitement 2 times like this. It was one seeing Carver scratchy the cat and feed him. Wesley was like, yes, the cat survives. And the other is like anytime Zay Flowers scores a touchdown. Those are the only 2 times that kid like will fly out of a chair. So it's like Zay Flowers touchdown, kitty didn't get murdered. So
hooray.
So I guess I'll get into the sacrilege over here. You sent me a 1 out of 10. So I'm going to go into expecting this to be someone that doesn't enjoy fun. I think that's it, realistically, because like I guess I can understand before I read. I have no idea what they're going to say, but I can understand like if you're expecting this to be scary, not like really being upset with it, or if you just don't like gore. Like those are the only 2 things that I think that like would turn someone off of this, but because you know it's a horror film, so like maybe it's just too gory for you, or it just was too campy for you, but that's the intention. So, and
that's when you just close your eyes, because I don't like gore, and I made it through and was just like, okay, we're gonna pause for 5 seconds, and then
we're gonna talk about a lot of those because I can't wait to hear your reactions on these things.
Okay. All
right. So 1 out of 10. Eli Roth was kidnapped by aliens and replaced by Chat GPT. All right. About 10 minutes in, I thought I was watching a low-budget Scream wannabe movie, so I carried on, hoping it would get better, but it never happened. I don't think they're wrong. They kind of were watching a Scream wannabe film.
Yeah.
Like, I think it wears that on its sleeve. Mm-hmm. The acting is horrible. The writing is even worse. I don't think it's trying to be fucking great.
Right.
It's like literally trying to be like a grind. Okay, I'll let them. I'll let them speak. I'm interrupting myself. What the fuck is wrong with me?
You do this every time.
Every time. I am the worst. It tries to be cool and modern, but the dialogue falls flat and feels forced and out of place. It's boring and extremely predictable. I was I was never a fan of gore, but I can admit that the gore and murder scenes in this movie were done well. Okay.
Literally the opposite of what you said.
Yeah, I could not be more wrong. Hello, my name is Nicholas. I am ill-informed. Unfortunately, that's the only positive it has. How is this movie directed by the same guy who directed Hostel? I think it's very obvious. Because realistically, Hostel's script isn't the greatest script of all time or anything. And more important,
you don't remember it for the dialogue.
Correct. Well, I mean, a lot of the dialogue is oh shit, fuck, ah! Where was I? And more importantly, how does this movie have such a good rating? Do people nowadays really don't understand what a good movie is anymore? Okay, I'm not gonna grammar police them, but that's what they have to say. I have some qualms with both of our reviews that we found. So yours, it's saying finally a good movie from 2023. It's bitch, Talk to Me came out. That movie's fucking great. And then this one, it's do people not know what a good horror film is nowadays? It's I mean, what are you comparing it to? Realistically, are you only comparing it to films nowadays? Or because if you're going to compare it to films nowadays, it's so are you saying that Saw 10 and the fifth Insidious film and all of this, is that what you, because at the end of the day, it's this is something original. It is a slasher, not saying that I invented a new genre, but it's hey, I came up with my own new slasher character that is and he looks fucking cool and it works really well. And I don't know. I just, this is probably one of the more fun horror films that I've seen in a long time.
Agreed. And I take the acting with a grain of salt because the characters, I wanted them to die, but that was the point of the movie.
100%.
So that's what makes it fun.
That's when they get killed, you're yeah, fuck yeah, and
it's about time.
And they're, good lord, I'm trying to think. I don't think there's one kill that's kind of meh, but most of them are really fucking good. So let's start breaking some of these down. I'll talk about real quick the one that I think's kind of the most lackluster one.
Before we talk about the kills, can we please talk about the opening scene?
Yeah, let's do it. Go ahead. Run with it.
The fact that my favorite part of that entire thing was, the stampede coming in, then the guy, we have to give credit to the guy that gets impaled in the neck and then still feels the need to go after that fucking waffle iron.
Yeah, he's holding it and dies on the pallet.
Somebody, just to make it 10 times worse, somebody comes and steals it from his dead hands.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Oh, yeah. Talking about this scene, Gina Gershon, the wife that ends up dying in this, she was only on set for 2 days. She basically got a hold of Eli Roth right around the time that he was getting funding and everything to make this, and was Eli, when are you going to put me in one of your horror films? And he was
wow,
got a spot for you right fucking here. And the fact that she goes down, fucking gets her head squished, and then it's just two shopping carts fighting over her body and rips her fucking, oh my god, it's so gross, but at the same time it's so outlandishly funny. And then her husband comes, he's no, oh god, I need somebody help me, oh god. It's yes, if this were a serious film, that would be very sad. This isn't a serious film. This isn't sad. This is just fucking ridiculous. You've got the dude bro jock up recording all this stuff on the phone. Oh my god, fucking, and post it online. And when they say, when it shows the dude die with the waffle maker in his hands on it, it says no waffles for you, bitch.
Yeah,
and at the very end, at the very end of it, it's got the prayer hands, and it's in remembrance of all those who died, while just ripping into these people. And it's very believable, and people are fucking yes, people are very yeah.
Good job.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, the whole I just remember seeing that scene in theaters and just being like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You've got the girl that works, or the woman that works at the diner and shit, and she is just, I have met
ruthless.
I have met that woman. I don't do the Black Friday shopping anymore because it really doesn't exist like it used to, right? But
because of reasons like this.
Yeah, but like this is what I would do on Black Friday. So me and a group of friends, we would go and we would so near the Walmart in the town that we live in, there's like a bar. We would get hammered and then go literally people watch through Black Friday, and just like we'd have like Polar Pop cups full of alcohol and just walk around Walmart while people are like, I need this Cabbage Patch doll. I'm gonna fucking kill your family. Ah! Like all this shit, and just fucking lose it. And I'm just like, or I would just be like completely like, I was younger, okay, but I would just be completely like worthless. I'd be like drunk and like find something that a lot of people wanted, and I would just stand in front of it and just look. Like, I'm a taller guy. I would just look over people and just like be drinking and be like, where's my friend? Like outwardly like saying that. People would be like, excuse me. I'd be like, where did he go? People are like trying to grab like all their DVDs or whatever. But like, it's very real. Like, I remember seeing people like when, like the PS4 came out or whatever, just losing my kids need this. They won't love me if I don't give them Spyro the Dragon. If that's the case, you have bigger problems than that. But yeah, very, very relatable. Yeah. So, we did the intro part, so I got to get into these kills.
On to the kills.
That is what this movie is at the end of the day. The worst kill is the other football team's dude gets his neck spun and snapped.
Oh yeah.
That one's like legitimately forgettable, so I had to actually like force myself to remember it. And then his girlfriend gets fucking impaled by a knife multiple times on the trampoline, which that is actually a redo from the original trailer. But the original trailer, it doesn't just impale her in her arms and her legs. It goes right for the giblets area. Like, she gets impaled there, like,
that's what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah,
because she's jumping and it's right there.
Yep, and she comes right down on it.
Yeah, that's ouch.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'd seen the trailer, the original trailer, so I was expecting it. So when that didn't happen, I was like, lame. All right, so we got the kind of shitty one out of the way. I want to go through what we think are the top 3 kills in this movie, and we'll kind of go back and forth, and we can agree on them. Those can count into our top 3, but we're going to start from 3. So think about what your number 1 is, because I've got my number 1 without a doubt. I know what my number 1 is, but so I can start with my 3rd to kind of give you a little start. So my 3rd one is the diner waitress.
Okay.
I absolutely love that one. It makes me laugh so fucking hard.
Yeah.
And it is possibly one of the meanest kills in this. The fact that like she smashes her face on the freezer door and she's frozen to it and has to rip away from it. I love the fact that she's like trying to use her phone. It can't do face recognition because her face is fucked up. Her hands are all bloody. She can't do that. So she's running. Oh, fuck. Oh, my God. The car lights come on and she gets fucking hit into a dumpster, and that dumpster lid smashes and cuts her in fucking half. Beautiful. Fucking love that. So that's my number 3.
It was so shocking, too. I didn't expect her to get cut in half by that door, just how fast it happened. And you just go, holy shit. You think she's going to get away.
Yeah, it kind of sets the pace for it,
Yeah, it does. My number 3 is the coward security guard with the cat. Because, like, you think he's just going to get his head chopped off, or he's just going to, like, and then it's the hand mixer just goes into his abdomen. I thought that was really cool. I don't know where John Carver comes from in this at all. It's just in him.
He's there.
Yeah, there are some, questionable, like, wait a second. But I really like that part. And then the fact that the cat got saved was nice too.
It's so good.
So,
we've had
number two.
We've had 2 movies back to back that the animal survives. That's a wonderful thing.
It's changing the course. Like, why do you gotta kill the animals?
You know what? We're trying to make a better world by not killing the animals in our films.
Yeah.
My number 2 is the turkey in the fucking parade. I laugh so fucking hard at that because like it's like the axe just like hits him in the head. It just fucking lops his head off. There's so much blood fucking shooting everywhere. I just like, and it's so abrupt because every single time prior to this, it's the John Carver mask. Now this time, it kind of has like a Joker vibe. Like it's like this clown, like crazy clown mask or whatever. Just fucking, he's like gobble gobble, happy Thanksgiving. Head fucking chopped right the fuck off. So fucking good. So yeah, that's my second favorite one.
I know my first one.
And we'll talk about the other ones as well, but I want to know which ones that you love.
Probably, I think I'm with you on the turkey. I really liked the turkey.
It's so fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like that is what makes my favorite kills in this movie is how abrupt and ridiculous they are.
Yeah.
Like, that's why the trampoline one doesn't work for me because it's not abrupt. And it doesn't mean it's bad. It just doesn't stand up to them.
But she doesn't necessarily die though either. She's stabbed a bunch of times.
Because she becomes the wine barrel.
Gross.
And she dies. And
so gross.
And we'll just talk about that whole scene later. Because I'm not even counting that kind of stuff as my favorite kills.
But I like the abruptness of the turkey versus the abruptness of the driver getting the front of the Mayflower through his face.
God,
that was
Wesley
too
fucking
much.
lost his shit about that. He was like, oh my God.
It's just a river of blood. Like that was too much.
The 2 young, I actually forgot about that. I need to really reevaluate my list. My number 1, it's mostly just because of like, oh my God, it goes so fucking hard, is when the Russian daughter is running through and trips and falls on the fucking table saw. It is, I knew that you would like it. It is so fucking crazy because it's abrupt again.
Yeah.
And like it does not pull away. Like she falls on the table saw. It's fucking going to town. She falls off. Her boyfriend's like holding her. And I really like his response to it. He's like, what do I do? He's like in pure shock. What do I do? What do I do? I love that. It is probably one of the darker kills in the movie. But just the fact that like they're like running, it's the fact of it just tripping and falling on a fucking table saw. Like so fucking good. So that's my number 1.
Just bad luck. Like
just bad fucking luck. Oh yeah, and that's even before she gets the corn cob things poked into her ears.
Yeah. That's rough.
Yeah, she probably gets one of the meanest kills in the movie. Like when earlier it was like it's very mean-spirited and stuff, which sometimes can be like, that's another thing. Terrifier is that same way. Very mean-spirited and everything. But I like this kind of comedy more than that. So
yeah, agreed. My favorite is the waitress, the diner waitress death.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because it kind of, like you said, it sets the mood. There's so much to it. So yes, there's the kill, but then there's the after the fact where one half of her body is on the store.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't help but giggle when like the medical examiner, whoever, like the cleanup crew, like just takes these tongs and picks up this what's supposed to be intestines, I'm assuming, and it's just like this weird Play-Doh looking tube, and it's just held up to the screen.
So
for all of those reasons, that's why that's my favorite.
And it's one of those untangible things of like what it's obviously like us, right? It's not what's actually done on the screen. What is it about these graphic, gory horror kills that are more acceptable than, and I keep drawing the line to like Terrifier, right? Like they're both just equally gory, like there's so fucking, now granted, you've only seen Terrifier 2 and what instantly comes to your mind is the bedroom scene, which goes forever, right?
Yep.
But like that aside, like there's a lot of fucking like horrifically graphic, gory kills, or not even kills, post-mortem mutilations that happen in this film. There's one specific one that we'll start talking about that I know for a fact grossed you the fuck out, and it's one of my favorite things that happens in this movie. And it's not just the stepmom being baked as a turkey. Like it's not that. It's the fact of when he's carving her and the dad throws up while having his mouth tied. It's so gross, but I'm so glad that he went there.
God, that whole scene was too much. But back to your question. It's making me cringe.
We'll get there. But yes, back to my question. There's no escape from that table. We're getting back to that table.
Yeah. We'll get there. We'll get there in due time. But the difference for me is, like we've said, these are quick. I didn't like the bandsaw one because it went for too long. I didn't like the head with the front of the boat because it went too long. It's the immediacy and then it's over with. I don't need to see more of what's happening because I can tell what's going to happen. So seeing the shot of the legs on the thing, that's enough. Seeing the campiness of the body parts, that's enough, but I don't need to see it just keep going.
But it does have the Natasha hallmark where we do, at the dinner table, we do get a head smashing scene.
I wanted his head smashed from the first time I met him.
Yes!
So I was very happy that he finally got what he deserved.
And they crack
that guy was a dick.
Oh yeah, and they smash it up like it's a fucking like egg. Like I just love, like it doesn't seem real at all.
No.
And it scoops it up, scoops up. I love all that because it plays into like, yeah, it's disgusting. But like when you're talking about a guy that's Thanksgiving themed, all this stuff, brings out the wife at like roasted up like a turkey. Fucking the girl is the wine, like puts the corkscrew in her neck, it spurts out, puts the cup there.
It had the sound of when you pop a cork, which I thought was beautiful. The spewing blood, disgusting, but I loved the pop.
Yeah, I'm here for the pop, baby. But yeah, and the whole thing that's like, it leans really hard into like the social, like the like TikTok kind of like social streaming.
Social media. Yeah.
Social media, that's what I was looking for. It leans into that, which some people could consider cringy and whatnot, because like in a few years, that whole landscape will change. So that will date this film a little bit, But I do love the fact of like they're just getting tagged in these photos. They have seats at the table because he doesn't actively try to kill anybody that wasn't a part of that. Like, the girl that lands on the table saw her dad and everything. Those are like trank darts, like everyone's getting trank darted unless he wants to kill him. And I like that aspect of like, no, I'm going to fucking kill these people for a very specific reason, which we later find out at the end of the film.
So how long did it take you before you knew or started guessing who John Carver was?
I honestly, it was up until the reveal, because I had it between two. I thought it was either the boyfriend that it was kind of setting, well, three, sorry. It was one of the two boyfriends.
Yeah. Or
it was the sheriff, not because they gave me stuff to think it was the sheriff. It was just that he was there a lot. And then he shows up at the end and he's injured. And that's where I was like, that's kind of squeamish. It could be him.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that like they foreshadowed it being him. It was just that I've seen a fuck ton of horror films. So I instantly go like, well, it could be him. So it wasn't an intelligent like assumption on my behalf.
Mine was the same reason why you just said. I was between the curly haired boyfriend or the sheriff. But like you said, they weren't foreshadowing. And since they weren't foreshadowing, that's why I thought it was the sheriff.
Yeah.
once I saw the baseballs fall out of the Carver house, I was like, it can't be the boyfriend. Because now they're giving you like a red herring to like think that.
Yeah.
But then when he was on the ground, I was like, well, shit, he's dead. It can't be him. So there was that slight spin that I appreciated in it.
And it definitely, like, it has its loopholes, like you were saying, with, like, how the fuck did he get in that house to kill the security guard, all this stuff. And that's why I said, like, before you even watch, it's like, just it's fun. Like, if you're going to nitpick this and stuff like that, you're not, it's going to, like, that's not what this film is for, you know? But yeah, like when like the revealing of how they reveal it, he's got like the little thistles on his pants. I think that's fucking great. I think that's a fucking great way. And like his turn right there. Patrick Dempsey was fucking phenomenal in this movie. I think he did such a good job. But yeah, like when he goes full Carver and like there will be no leftovers.
I was so glad that was the tagline because I wanted it to be, and then when I saw the actual like film poster, I was like, yes.
It's so good because like the original one I think was white meat, dark meat, all will be carved. It was like
not as good
for the Grindhouse like trailer.
Gotcha.
And then when they actually made it, there will be no leftovers. I'm like, yes, this goes hard in the paint. Fuck yeah, so much fun. Because that's the thing. Like at the end of the day, like you know, depending on what I end up giving this movie score wise, it's like this movie is just fucking fun. Like it does have kind of a lull in the middle a little bit, and the new boyfriend, I'm horrible with names, but Ryan, yeah, he's super fucking cringy, but at the same time that guy exists. Like they all kind of exist, so this definitely plays into like your tropey characters and whatnot, like, but that's what a fucking slasher is. And I'm super happy that this movie made a lot of money and that they're gonna make another one, because you know what, I hope that we get Thanksgiving 5, and it has nothing to do with the first one at all. It barely has anything to do with turkeys. Hell, it could be in space. You know, fucking really lean into just the absurdity and just make it a fun fucking slasher. That's what I'm here for.
And I like the holiday movie quality to it.
Yeah. Oh, fuck
like
yeah.
keep it on Halloween, or keep it on the holiday. Yeah. Keep it in Massachusetts. I love that component to it.
Oh yeah. I love the fact that like everyone's wearing the masks. Mm-hmm. Like they're handing them out and everything. It's a cool looking mask. It even looks cooler when he sets it on top of the oven and it melts a little bit, which is like a throwback to Halloween. Like the worn out kind of burnt mask. Like I love all that stuff. Like it is like if you didn't see the movie, right, and I'm like it's a guy that dresses up like a pilgrim killing people, that alone sounds stupid as fuck, right? Yeah. But the way that like him like standing there with like the fucking axe and everything, I'm like, yes, let's fucking go. Like it's good stuff.
And how the mask is so innocuous at the beginning of the film, where like they're just handing them out at the diner for the holiday.
That. Yeah,
I thought that was really cool because you see it like right out of the gate, like in your periphery, somebody getting it and putting it on.
Yeah. And
then like that fear kind of creeps in throughout, which I thought was really cool.
Well, and that's what works really well with the parade, because like everyone's wearing it and they're like looking, and he's not even dressed like Carver in that point. He's just a fucking crazy ass clown in the Thanksgiving Day parade. Like that doesn't stick out like a sore thumb. Right. And I just can't get enough of that. Like he just like literally just pops up out of nowhere and just knocks his head off.
Or why? I don't know why.
Yeah, the turkey. The turkey has nothing to do with anything. Like he literally is like just having a good time. Just fucking... Maybe he did have something to do with the Black Friday kills. So
I remember them saying like earlier in the movie, like he always plays the turkey in the parade, and that part cracked me up. But I still don't know, like, so he must have been there. He's a student, but just that phrase of he always plays the turkey in the parade is just silly.
What about the gun dealer, like dirtbag guy that's like having the party, basically just hanging out on the porch and like literally shames the kids because they don't know what Black Sabbath is and stuff.
That was great.
I was all about that. Get the fuck out of here. It's like I can get down with this guy.
He's been watching a lot of Shark Tank, so he starts charging his goers.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
his little like peon guy who just has to carry around the
protege.
velvet rope.
They're going to the VIP area. It's just his bedroom.
His bedroom.
Where he's like getting guns out of every goddamn thing.
Do you have any human-sized guns? I like that. I like that he ended up going from super cringy dirtbag to like he saved the day.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah, my dad wore this in Desert Storm or Vietnam or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it was good luck to him. And it is very abrupt though, that part.
Yeah, I agree.
And then it turns out to have like a little knife in it, you know. That's cool. Like, but okay.
The dinner scene.
Yeah, let's get into the dinner scene. So we haven't really talked about it, but I believe Kathleen is thrown in a fucking oven after
Gross.
being basted. Thrown in an oven, and you watch her skin bubble and crisp up. Love the fact that he stabs her with a fucking turkey timer, and then it goes.
That gave the perfect amount of levity. If it didn't have the turkey timer, it would have been, because I had to turn away for a hot minute during that part because it was just no. But then the pop was that made me chuckle.
Now, when she gets brought out to the table, there was another way that she was brought out to the table, which went fucking way harder. So we get her decapitated and like brought like legs and arms all brought up like it were a turkey. But she's wearing her pilgrim outfit still. The original way was she was nude and her entire pelvic region was cut out and full of stuffing.
Shit. Wow. No, that's
too much.
There's a type of movie where that fits, and that's not what I want to watch.
Yeah, like I read that and I was like, holy shit, because it's gross enough. Like,
right.
You know, like when he's like carving the meat off the leg, it's super gross. The dad throws up, like all this, but like the image of literally like her pelvic region being gone and just full of like root vegetables and stuff and sage, that would be horrific.
Yeah. That takes it out of the comedic aspect of it.
Yeah. So I imagine like somebody was probably like, I think you might have crossed the line here.
Yeah.
Let's just dress her up, you know. But yeah, so you got anything else you want to talk about at that dinner table? You got head crushing and
yeah, we can't forget about the head crushing. I had a feeling once he started talking about like what are we thankful for? I thought that was really clever, and it made me chuckle also because it's so common what you do. And then I watched one of the smashes, and that was all I needed to see. Once again, don't need.
Oh,
to
you
see
didn't
too
watch
much.
the full smash?
I saw the beginning and the end. So then I saw him spoon the blood as if it were cranberry sauce.
Yes.
Do something with it. I don't know.
Because why the fuck not?
Right, exactly.
See, that's the thing that's great about this movie is it knows what it is, and it's just like, we're going to be fucking stupid. We're going to, spooning it as cranberry sauce, all this stuff. It's the cork popping of the neck. Like, it just, yeah, fuck it.
I had to keep telling myself when he was carving the leg, her thigh, I was like, it's just turkey. It's turkey. It's turkey. Because I don't handle cannibalism well, as I'm sure most people don't.
Oh, I handle it easily. Like that stuff does not bother me.
It does. I'm so glad we didn't have to watch the dad eat her, though.
Oh, I wanted
something broke before then.
I wanted it to like get in his mouth and then he throws up. That would have been great. But I'll take it as it is. I got the pukey scene, and I don't tend to like puke in my movies. I don't know many people that are like, if it doesn't have puke, I'm not into it. But like, it's what else would you fucking do in that aspect?
Right.
Your wife is getting served to you.
I was waiting for someone to throw up.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah, because I wanted to.
Yep.
So, all right. Let's get into our reviews.
We didn't talk too much about the third act.
Oh, sorry. Go right ahead. Start her up.
I mean, I don't have much to say about it, but I didn't like it that much.
You didn't like the third act?
I thought it went too long. I liked that Patrick Dempsey went full crazy.
Yeah.
That was great. But I just felt like once you get to that point and once the big reveal is revealed, I wish that would have wrapped up a little bit faster, because that's kind of what you're waiting for the whole time. So once that happens, it should be the end. And I feel like there was 15, 20 minutes still of her running from them.
Well, and we also had to get our expositional dialogue of what our killer's purpose is.
Right. I could have done without that.
Him and Gina Gershon, she was cheating on her husband with him, and he got her pregnant, and they were going to have a family. And I do like that. It's like, you took everything from me. I like that aspect. Like, I was going to be happy, and now I can't, so I'm going to fucking murder all you. I'm cool with that. I do agree. It goes a little long. The whole truck scene where they're trying to get away and all that, and it runs a little long. I do like the fact that he gets blown up by a fucking massive turkey.
Once again, I don't understand how the explosion happened, but I'll take it. And it just was enough to propel the truck out of the building.
Because why the fuck not, Right. And then good.
I would have liked it to be like how you mentioned Scooby-Doo, a legit Scooby-Doo ending. You figure it out, you go, fuck, and then that's the end of the movie.
It was McDreamy. Oh, no. Yeah. I would have gotten away with it, too, if it weren't for you little fuckers.
Because did you catch that at one point? I can't remember who called him that, but one of the characters was called, was referenced, Scooby Snacks.
No, I must have missed that.
Yeah. Oh, it was Scuba.
Oh, so yeah.
They mentioned Scooby Snacks. So once that got embedded, I was like, yes, this is exactly
100%.
Like a Scooby-Doo episode. So then that's how I wanted it to end.
Oh, yeah. That would have been fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
But then you get your false ending, where she thinks that he's coming to kill her and it's all a dream kind of thing. So the ambiguity of the ending, right, is he dead or is he not dead, right?
I think when they showed the guy walking out with the covered face and the firefighter outfit, I was like, that's him.
Yeah, but it's one of those things of so are we getting him again in a sequel kind of thing?
Or is it somebody else doing the same thing?
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. Or is it someone does somebody have a connection to him? The Scream thing, right? You killed my son, so now I'm going to get all that bullshit, Maybe we'll get Grandma McDreamy coming through fucking icing up people. I don't know. But I am definitely here for a sequel. As long as Eli Roth is co-writing and directing this, I'm going to watch it, because it's trying to think here. I think it might be my favorite movie of his, because I do like Hostel, but Hostel goes hard, and you have to kind of be in the mood for that. I can be in the mood for this anytime. This could just be a fucking horror film that I throw on because of how outlandish it is. It runs quick, to some people it goes pretty fucking hard, but for me, I'm disgusting, so whatever.
It's not too hard for you.
Yeah, I watch dumb shit all the time. So, All right, let's get into reviews. So you initially said a 6.5. I'm going to guess that you do come up to a 7.
I think I'm keeping it a 6.5.
Okay.
Yeah. I still love as much as I loved it the first time. It's going to be one that I'm sure I'll watch around the season. I don't think I would watch it outside of fall, after Halloween time. And yeah, just the beginning alone gives it I would say a solid 1.5. This is probably one of the very few horror movies, campy horror movies, or horror comedies that edge on the comedy part that I actually like, instead of thinking that it's just dumb.
Yeah,
I really got this one, and so I'm gonna stick with a 6.5.
Okay.
I think you are bumping it to a 7.5.
I'm going to give it a 7.25.
Oh, geez.
just a hair, right? Because I'm just thinking about it. I'm no, I'm going to, specifically because how excited I am for them making a sequel.
Yeah.
And everything, and just kind of comparing it to other other slashers that aren't from my childhood, right? I can't remember a slasher that I liked as much as this that I didn't see in my formative years. And it's just like, this is fucking good. I hope other people take notice from this and go, you know what? I want to make a film like Thanksgiving, because you know what? That's what this world needs, you know? We need more fucking more dinner scenes like this. Realistically, I mean, and also like it runs so well. It's only like an hour 45. They could have trimmed it down, obviously, but yeah, like we both scored a little higher than IMDb, because you said 6.5 and I said 7.25. IMDb gives it like a 6.2. But yeah. So what's that give us as our total score? I don't think we're hitting Hall of Fame territory or anything, but
For dramatics, please.
bum 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 bum.
Can't do math this morning.
When have you ever been able to do math? This is
Dude.
Always.
I don't know what I'm doing.
You work in the education field. This is and it's basic. This is literally one of the biggest things. I got to figure out how to grade these things.
I know, I do it. I don't know. It's just numbers. I don't know what I do.
My brain don't good numbers stuff.
I know how to do it. I know what I think I do, but then I get the answer and go, I did something wrong.
I hear you. I see you talking, but all I hear is blah, blah, blah.
It gives it a 67.
Okay, that's good. Realistically, you're more than likely going to like this film. I feel, like I said earlier, I think the only people that aren't going to like it is if it's too gory for you. Or if you just don't want fun, if you're not into like horror films having levity, and to say like, oh, they, back in my day, they never were like that. Motherfucker, Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger is funny as fuck. That is like the one-liners, the quips, like, all that shit. It's there. Like,
but if you think it's too scary, then you're not going to pick up on the levity. I think that's a part of it too. I think you might have to be like I don't know, I guess Wes watched it and thought it was great, but you have to have kind of a background in horror to be able to get those funny bits.
This is not baby's first slasher.
Correct.
But at the end of the day, like, I still think, though, at the end of the day, if you don't have a history in slashers and stuff like that, if you at least like horror films, you will like this.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. Like, if what you think is like, oh man, I watched, I don't fucking know. What's like I watched Goosebumps and it was too scary, or oh my God, like, then yeah, like you're probably not going to dig this, because it gets gloopy, like uber gloopy. So it is what it is. I'm glad we watched it. I'm just sad that we can't watch it every year for the podcast for Thanksgiving, because there's not a lot of Thanksgiving horror films. There's a few. What's the other one? Blood Rage is another one. Thanksgiving. There are others, but I think this is the most available, I would say. So for next week's homework, kind of staying in a similar vein of Black Friday, mall shopping, and the like, we're gonna watch the remake of Dawn of the Dead. Takes place in a mall. So
it does.
Yeah. So have you ever seen this?
I have. I've watched it with you when I was younger. Okay.
So yeah, that's what we're gonna cover. I believe it's from 2003. It's the Zack Snyder directed one. We're not going to do the George Romero one. The only reason we're not doing that is because Natasha is not a huge fan of like 70s horror and stuff like that, because I believe that's late 70s. So I love that movie. You can send us emails and stuff and we can talk all about that, potofthedead666@gmail.com. But yeah, we're gonna watch the remake from 2003.
Is the original one in black and white?
No, that's the original Night of the Living Dead.
Okay.
So it goes Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, Land of the Dead, then I believe there's Diary of the Dead. And these are all the George Romero films. So George Romero is like the innovator of the American zombie. Like what you think of when you think The Walking Dead, you know, that all stems from Night of the Living Dead. And then this was the sequel that came out a long time after. And it's the original. We'll just kind of we'll talk more about it in the next episode, but the original Dawn of the Dead is considered to be one of the greatest zombie films of all time, if not one of the greatest horror films of all time. So maybe we'll touch on that later some other year, you know, next year or something. We'll touch into that because like I said, Tasha's not a fan of 70s horror and stuff like that.
It's true.
But it doesn't mean that we won't cover Day of the Dead, which did come out in the 80s. And we will cover that one because that's my favorite.
That's the black and
no. Night of the Living Dead came out in the 60s.
Okay. I've seen the black and white one. I know that much.
Think of it this way: night, dawn, day. Like think of how hours work. You know, it's night, then you get dawn, then you get day. I don't know where land falls, but yeah,
it's day and night.
Yes.
This one from 2004 looks like there's a paywall. So if you do want to stream it, it's on Amazon, YouTube TV, Philo, Apple TV. It looks like it's about $4 if you don't currently have it.
Right on.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah, it's somewhere back here amongst all these. I own all of the Deads. But yeah, those like we'll talk about it next episode. God, I just want to talk about it now.
You're so excited.
I know it's a fun movie. It's another fun, gross horror film. You know, and kind of yeah. So for Pot of the Dead, I am Nicholas.
I am Natasha.
Come back and listen to us, or else.